which is really something incredible, I think. The Yes Men have been to Hope before. They were not headlining Hope. They were kind of low-key about it, but they have been here. It's really awesome that they're in New York so much. Basically, we have a lot of people come to these conferences and speak on stage that have a lot of balls, but I don't think anybody can beat these guys who basically impersonate organizations like the World Trade Organization or Dow Chemical, get on international television, fool the media, fool the world, and use their abilities to make announcements that should have been made to start with. For instance, a chemical company that was responsible for the deaths of tens of thousands of people in a foreign country offering to make restitution. Well, in real life, they never did. But in the Yes Men world, yes, they did on the BBC. And then the real company had to take it back. So the statement was really made. It's incredible what you can do with imagination, a little bit of courage, and a community like this behind you. The Yes Men will be appearing today. We're using a combination of technology and real life to present this to you. Amazingly, we usually have network issues of one sort or another or some kind of a problem. It's been going swimmingly well. A big hand to all the network people for keeping it going. And I like to, unlike most Yes Men appearances, which usually devolve into chaos because someone figures out that, hey, this isn't really who it's supposed to be, I think this is going to be kind of basically, I don't want to say calm, but it's going to be what it is. Yeah. So with that, I'd like to introduce Andy from the Yes Men. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Thanks so much. Wow, it's such a big crowd, and it's a bit daunting and very flattering and a big honor to be here. You know, we've been inspired by hacking, which has been around, 2600 and other hacking things have been around for a very long time, and it's been inspiring to us to see people messing with the system in different ways. And I think it's probably one of the reasons we've ended up doing what we do. And it's only recently dawned on me that what we do is actually hacking. Believe it or not, it took this long. What we do, basically, I think, is hack into mainstream journalism. We work with mainstream journalists, essentially. Maybe it's social engineering. But with their accord, sort of, we give them, most of them, we give an excuse to cover important issues that they wouldn't otherwise cover. Issues that are desperately important to get attention for, like the one that Emmanuel mentioned. But we work with them by giving them funny jokes to cover instead of the important issue, because they can't cover the important issue just because it's important. 20th anniversary of the Bhopal catastrophe, biggest industrial disaster, nobody ever compensated for it, site not cleaned up, not important. But fake appearance on the BBC by somebody purporting to be from the company that did that, that's important. It's weird, but that's the way it works. And I think besides hackers, one of the other things that has inspired me personally has been ACT UP, who, in the 90s did amazing things like covering Jesse Helms' house with a giant condom. And stuff like that, that basically gave the media no choice but to cover it. It was just too good a story. Now, our own kind of voyage into discovering this started in 1999. And if we can have PowerPoint on this screen instead of me. That's 1999. A bunch of people headed to Seattle to protest the WTO, World Trade Organization, and what it represented, which was a system of free trade overall, and an idea that democracies should never interfere with the freedom of commerce to do whatever it wants. Because, we all know if you just let the rich do whatever they want, it'll turn out great for everyone. So this entire organization, a pretty big organization, was created to promote and defend that idea. And a lot of people didn't like it, including these people that you see in this slide and about 30,000 others who headed to Seattle in November of 1999 to shut down the World Trade Organization. And we couldn't make it to that, so we did the next best thing, or the 10th best thing, which was set up a fake website that looked just like the WTO's real website, but had satirical content, some really offensive content, but basically content that fell within the WTO's basic philosophy. And we did that just because we happened to be playing with websites at the time. I was a tech geek, I was a programmer, and so I enjoyed playing with technology and was making fake little websites. And somebody actually suggested that we try to make a fake for the WTO, and I thought, why not? Something. A great weird thing happened as a result of this website, though. The WTO itself posted a press release on its website saying that it was terrible. And this was at a time, 23 November, you can see the date there. It was just before these 30,000 people were going to shut down the WTO, and everybody knew it. And the WTO chose to devote a press release to our website instead of them. Nobody noticed their press release, of course. And so the head of their PR agency, being very well educated in public relations techniques, sent us an email and said, "You terrible people have made us write a press release about you. Don't you feel ashamed of yourselves?" And so we were very ashamed and confessed our sins to about 10,000 journalists on our email list, which made a lot of people laugh. A lot of the journalists found it very funny that the WTO was going after this little website by some people called the Yes Men. And as a result, there was a bit of press, things like the Seattle PI, which no longer exists, covered the issue, and as a result, it got into whatever search engines there were at the time. I think you guys probably remember a lot better than I do. Things with funny names, like Lycos, and as a result, we started getting invitations to speak as the WTO. Because of the search engine, people would stumble onto our fake website and think it was the real thing, and we started getting invitations, as well as a whole lot of other correspondence meant for the WTO. So we were answering really complicated trade questions at the same time, having a lot of fun doing that. The first time we got this email asking for somebody from the WTO to speak at a conference, it took us about 2 months to answer it because it was so weird. And we didn't really imagine we could do it, but we finally accepted. And it was for a law conference in Salzburg, Austria. And we presented a talk as the WTO in which the WTO basically says, well, okay, we're privatizing most things, and that's great because, we all know democracy shouldn't interfere with business, but there's one thing we haven't privatized yet, and that's democracy itself. So let's try to do that, and we should start with voting and make it so that instead of corporations paying money to political campaigns, which then pay people to make ads and then pay people to put them on their TV stations, which then are supposed to convince voters to vote for the candidate, incredibly inefficient. It's like the perfect example of inefficiency in government. Let's just have a system, online, website, websites are amazing, and you can have the corporations just pay money directly to citizens to vote for whoever they want. And we had this whole diagram describing this, and people, we kind of expected something dramatic to happen, so we were prepared for anything. We had a cameraman there and the whole thing, and nothing happened. And that was the first of many experiences of nothing happening. The next invitation we got was to a textiles conference in Tampere, Finland. It was a conference on textiles of the future. And so we decided, okay, it wasn't enough to say the most grotesque thing we could imagine. Now we've got to show a pretty grotesque thing. And since Manuel mentioned balls, I'm going to show a little clip that demonstrates what happened there. We thought, well, what the WTO going to speak at a textiles conference, what is the textiles of the future for the WTO? And this is the result. It's a textile solution for one of the biggest problems in the world, a world of absolutely free trade. It's that, you can hire people anywhere in the world at whatever wages you want and transport the goods anywhere you want, but the people themselves can't travel. And that's okay, that's great. There's only one problem with this situation, and this is the problem. Let's see. Oh, do we have sound? Yes, okay.
If a company might be in New York, Hong Kong, or Espoo, Finland, and the workers are in Gabon, Rangoon, or Estonia, how does a manager maintain proper rapport with the workers? And how does he or she ensure from a distance that workers perform their work in an ethical fashion? I'm about to show you an actual prototype of the WTO solution to two major management problems of today. Now, we all know that not even the best workplace design can help even the most astute manager keep track of workers. What you need is a solution that enables complete rapport with workers, especially when they're located far away. Mike, would you help me a moment? Thank you. This is much better, much more comfortable. This is the WTO's answer to two of the major management problems, and we're calling it the management leisure suit. It's the two problems again, how to maintain close rapport with distant workers, and how to remain comfortable and increase leisure activities. How does the management leisure suit work, besides being extremely comfortable, as I can guarantee you? Well, allow me to describe the suit's core features. This is the EVA, the Employee Visualization Appendage. It's an instantly deployable, hip-mounted device with totally hands-free operation that allows the manager to see his employees directly right here. Signals communicating the exact amounts and quality of physical work are transmitted not only visually right here, but directly through electric channels implanted directly into the manager. The workers, for their part, are fitted with corresponding transmitting chips that are implanted humanely directly into the shoulder. But the other equally important achievement of the MLS has to do with leisure. In the United States, leisure, another word for freedom really, has been decreasing steadily since the 1970s. The management leisure suit permits the manager to reverse this trend by letting him do his work anywhere, while remaining in complete touch with the workers, physically sensing what's going on in the workforce on the floor through channels implanted directly into the manager. Again, the manager sees the employees, but also feels what they're feeling and can select where to focus in the workplace environment. So, in conclusion, I'd like to ask, is this a science fiction scenario? The answer is no. Everything we've seen here, everything we've been talking about, is entirely possible today. We can always look forward on the highways of progress towards ever new horizons with cooperation and mutual delight in the fruits of prosperity. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Afterwards, the president of the conference asked for questions. There weren't any. And we actually spent the entire day with these people and had dinner, and I was seated across from the daughter of the president, and it was completely weird to spend, and we went home and there was absolutely no reaction. But fortunately, we had all this footage, and the local paper did cover a full-page photo of basically that, and describe the WTO demonstrating this technology. And they got it. I mean, that newspaper got it and made fun of it. And it got a certain amount of press. So that was a sort of way that we hacked a bit about that story into the media, remote labor and the inhumanity of outsourcing. Our biggest kind of news hack came a few years later when a friend of ours from Greenpeace suggested that we use these weird talents that we seem to be developing to go after a real on-the-ground problem in Bhopal, India, which Emmanuel alluded to. In 1984, a big chemical plant exploded there, killing like 3,000 people at once, and up to 20,000 people over the ensuing years. 120,000 people sick for life. The maximum anybody ever got for that was $500 compensation, and the site itself was never cleaned up. So we thought that was terrible, of course, and we set up. In 2001, another element of the puzzle. The company that was responsible in 2001 was sold to Dow Chemical, who continued to refuse to do anything about it. So we did what we knew how to do, set up a website for Dow Chemical, a fake Dow website, sent out a press release saying that basically Dow would never compensate the people in Bhopal because the people in Bhopal were too poor to be shareholders. And that's pretty much the truth, and it didn't really get much attention because it's true. So it did get a little bit of attention, though. There were a couple of articles, a couple of blogs posted it, and as a result, it did get into search engines. And 2 years later, an intern at the BBC was searching for the Dow Chemical Company because it was the 20th anniversary of the Bhopal catastrophe, and they wanted to interview somebody from Dow to see how they were responding to these activist demands that they pay up. And the intern stumbled on our site, and the BBC were extremely surprised that we were very happy to go on and say and talk, because Dow never does agree to say anything. And for 6 minutes in front of 350 million people, I was able to basically go on and on and on about how we were accepting full responsibility for the disaster, compensating the survivors, liquidating Union Carbide, which we had bought, and 6 minutes hitting all of my talking points, and they were absolutely thrilled until about 20 minutes later after the broadcast when they got a call from Union Carbide saying that I didn't exist. A couple funny things happened in that 20 minutes. One was that the stock value of Dow lost about $2 billion. People always applaud for that, and I'm so confused. You should be booing, because it says that if a company does the right thing, they get punished by the marketplace. That's exactly what that demonstrated. And right after the announcement was revealed to be fake, and it was revealed that Dow had absolutely zero intention of doing anything of the sort, the stock value came right back up. Boo. Okay, now you can boo. Good. So that's one of the things that happened. Another is that it quickly shot up to be the #1 story on Google News. And after the hoax was revealed, which was about an hour later, that story remained on Google News at the top for the rest of the day. And there were something like 600 articles about the hoax and therefore about the disaster and Dow's responsibility and so on in the US press. And that was really the whole goal of the action. It was to give journalists an excuse to talk about this incredibly important thing, that somehow just it being the 20th anniversary wasn't enough. So that was so successful, and that we only did because of Greenpeace coming to us and saying, why don't you do this? And then they worked with us to craft the points and to make it all happen. So we realized there was a lot of power in working with people who were smarter than us, who knew the issues, who kind of could craft messages and figure it all out. We didn't have to wing it ourselves. We could actually work with people who had done really important research. And so we decided that that's how we would operate from then on. We'd work with organizations directly, first collaboratively, and then we decided we'd work with organizations and actually help them to carry out the projects entirely by themselves with a little bit of advice and a little bit of help. And so we created an organization that we called the Yes Lab. Oops, okay, I've been hacked. Let me see, can I fix that? Oh yeah, there it is. Not the US Chamber of Commerce, the Yes Lab. And this is a little video about the Yes Lab and what it does. What's that? Am I doing that?
Hi, my name is Mike,
And I'm Andy.
and we are the Yes Men.
Yeah, you may have heard of the Yes Men because of some of the things we've done in the past.
Like this.
Dow is accepting full responsibility for the Bhopal catastrophe.
We want something that's going to be able to save a human being no matter what Mother Nature throws at him. This is the answer.
Iraq war ends.
1.2 million of these fake papers printed and passed out by thousands of volunteers.
Today we're launching Balls Across America.
They serve up satirical humor laced with lunacy to call the media's attention to serious issues. Who are you really?
We are with a group called the Yes Men.
A lot of people see the kind of things we've been doing over the years, and they want to do similar things for their cause.
That's why we started the Yes Lab.
The Yes Lab is a way for us, the Yes Men, to help all kinds of progressive activist groups carry out media-getting creative actions.
Here's how it works. An organization, say US Uncut, calls us up.
They have a goal, say, to point out that GE hasn't paid its taxes.
Together we brainstorm the best way for the organization to get the most press attention possible. Then, the organization works on the project with our guidance.
Finally, the action works, and the organization gets its ideas out in public.
And this morning, a story crossed the Associated Press saying that General Electric was going to pay back a $3.2 billion tax refund. The stock moved when that story crossed the wires.
It had all the makings of a major news story.
The guys behind the prank, they call themselves US Uncut, who work with the grassroots group, the Yes Men.
I pay my taxes, why doesn't GE? That's where the impulse came to do this prank.
In its very first year, the Yes Lab helped activist organizations embarrass Canada for their disastrous environmental policy.
The world was laughing at Canada because of a press release.
Demolish Chevron's $80 million greenwashing campaign.
To counter the Chevron spots, an activist group created these spoof ads.
Make the U.S. Chamber of Commerce very angry indeed.
I'm Eric Wolfschlegel. I'm with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. This guy is a fraud. He's lying.
And highlight the health effects of coal plants on children.
The victim of this hoax is Peabody Energy. The website claims it wants to make asthma cool by making their inhalers cool.
The organizations that we've worked with have been very happy with the results, and more importantly, they now know how to do it again themselves. Now that we know that the Yes Lab can work, we're ready to officially launch.
So if you want to try something, write to us at this address here.
Thanks. One thing we're trying this coming fall, we're working with 5 New York organizations and a bunch of students at NYU, as well as any of you. So if you want in September to work on some projects that are going to be very fun, like some of the projects that we did last year in the same kind of way. Just go to yeslab.org/NYU, and you're very welcome to participate. It would be fantastic to get some hackers or hack-friendly people there. So, so that's one thing. And now I'd like to bring up Mike, who's in Scotland. He has a visa problem for real and can't make it. I'm serious. If he leaves the country, if he leaves the UK, where he has a wife and children, he can't get back in. So it's a real life problem. And let's see, Mike should be up here on Skype. Mike, are you there? Oh, shit. Wait a second.
Who has summoned me from my internet slumber?
Okay.
It was a fateful day when I was using a magical spell to turn Randall Terry gay. When I was bewitched myself and turned into a meme.
Did you guys set this up?
As a meme, I have special meme powers.
Wait, did you?
The ability to mutate and morph.
And
others will. The ability to be sliced, have my voice diced, and turned into musical entertainment products. I have been given
There's me over there.
much in exchange for very little.
How do we get me off the screen to start
Who
with?
has summoned me?
That's
Life
not,
in
okay,
the
I'm sorry.
internet is very fast. If you have ever seen
Anybody know how to use
Tron,
Skype?
you know exactly what I mean.
This isn't
And
supposed to-
yet, I can see how governments want to slow it down with speed bumps. The super
First off, can you get me
information
off the screen?
highway needs more toll
1 second.
booths, traffic cones, rumble strips,
Trash?
and stuff.
Might be trash.
What is that on his head?
Why have you brought me here? I want out of the internet. I have had too much in
Network
here.
personnel?
It's moving too
network personnel to the stage,
fast. Gingivitis has been eroding the gum line of this great nation long enough and
stand back, let
must
them do their
be
work.
stopped. I've said that so many times. I'm sick of it. Ooh, why do the corporations want to control the information that just wants to be free? SOPA, I remember the SOPA blackout of January. Oh, stop that! Stop! What are you doing? Stop! Don't make me come out there! Ah!
Well, we got rid of him. Now what about Mike? Let me try again. Oh, wow. All right.
Hello, everybody! I'm Vermin Supreme! Thank you for having me.
Oh, yes, welcome. Thank you.
Oh, may I?
Great, yeah. Well,
Hello, is this one on? Hello? 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 Ha!
person whom you're trying to reach is currently unavailable.
Hello, my name is Vermin Supreme, and I am from the internet. I have felt a disturbance in the memosphere. I believe there may be another internet censorship bill coming down the pike. Now, it's so fast on the internet, I can't understand why the governments want to install more roadblocks, traffic cops, traffic cones, rumble strips, and the like. But I have a fear because to a meme, such internet censorship means life or death. Let me assure you that the Supreme Administration will be friendly to memes and friendly to the internet. We are not afraid of the internet, and we do not believe in internet censorship. Me and my meme friends have recently been discussing the formation of a league of memes. I've been stalking my administration with memes. Scumbag Steve, Double Rainbow Guy, all of them. They're all on board, even the keyboard cat. So friends, I would like to take this opportunity because as you know, during my presidential quest, the next stop will be the conventions in Tampa and the conventions in Charlotte. And I will be arriving en masse, and I will be bringing with me memes. I would like to take this opportunity to announce the Million Meme March for Freedom Against Internet Censorship. Thank you, my fellow digital Americans. So, what can the Yes Labs do for me?
Oh dear. Mike, what can the Yes Labs do for the Million Meme March? Hello?
Very little, really. It relies on everyone participating and creating their own memes, I guess. I mean, all that we can do is sit back and do it all, whatever we can do as individuals. Personally, I don't know, I'll start with a boot on my head.
A very wise choice.
Yeah, and Mike's absolutely right, Vermin.
Yes?
We can't do anything.
Mike is very scary back there.
Yes.
I'm going to try not to look at him. Don't remind me he's there. Thank you.
Should have seen you. No, but does anybody have any ideas? The ideas, right, you actually want meme ideas, right, for real?
Yes, I'm looking for meme-related ideas to make this Million Meme March the most effective march in the history of all American politics. I want to make it a high-visibility event that will draw attention to this most disturbing issue, because without the internet, there are no memes. And let's face it, without blatant copyright infringement, I would not be here today. So, any ideas? What can we do, citizens?
Hello, my name is Ambassador Krusov. I'm from Soviet Unterzegersdorf. I came here on a cargo ship. It was longer. My personal, I'm still trying to understand the West, but I very much like your appearance. I like your the PR concept of this Million Meme March. And I think, as far as I can tell, the capitalist system sex sells. And I would see memes including fisting and stuff like that.
A million, a sexually explicit Million Meme March. I mean,
yeah, we have to attract deviants.
Yes, well, Scumbag Steve is
for the
pretty,
mainstream. For the mainstream, we take bumblebees.
Bumblebees and fisting.
Fisting.
Bumblebees, fisting, and hope.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll sit down. You consult me again. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. That was very helpful.
So
take
we have
note on that.
bumblebees, fisting, and hope. Are there any other ideas? For viral videos or memes, right?
Viral videos or potential memes in the making. That's very true.
Yeah.
Once again, of course, I am the candidate of no hope, no change, and bitter disappointment. Anybody else? Oh, how can you? Oh, we have a volunteer here. Step right up. Don't be shy. We have a microphone right there for you to tell us stuff. And we look forward to your ideas and suggestions.
Is this thing on? Yes.
That thing, yes, it is on.
Okay. Well,
Thank you. Thank you for asking. Next question, please.
You're welcome. I think I may have the slogan for the campaign.
Ah, slogan. Every good campaign does, in fact, need a good slogan. What is or would be that slogan?
All their base belong to us.
All their base belongs to us. I like it. I like it. Can anybody outdo that one? Can anyone have a crappier one? Here we go. Another lucky volunteer. Step right up. Don't be shy. Everybody's a winner.
No internet, no cats.
No internet, no cats. Save the cute kitty cats.
Read me, Dr. Memory.
Yes, sir. You standing at the microphone.
Yes, I think that memes should be open source. Like wide open, like goats say.
Okay. Yeah. Just because I'm a meme doesn't mean I get all that internet humor. But I'll nod my head as if I understand exactly what you were talking about.
All right. Those are some really good ideas.
Some fantastic ideas. Those ideas are going to take this baby through the roof.
Yeah.
All the way.
Now, yeah. Oh. Wonderful.
Could you just shove the microphone in their faces? Like Oprah? Because memes are essential to the American way of life. America would not be the same without...
The lady.
Lady.
Think of something. Come on. Something, whatever pops in your head. Tell us your opinion on fisting.
Because this Million Meme March is very important, because the Million Boothead March has too much real possibility of turning into utter chaos at the end with the people throwing their boots at the riot cops and whatever.
But you have a strong Western will. I give you the microphone. So.
I want to save the memes because they're very important to me, and I enjoy them greatly. So maybe you can have like fake people who look like people from the memes, like save the memes, like like Michael Jackson and all the singers singing like.
He was very memey, yes.
Meme
impersonators. You're suggesting that we have meme impersonators.
Yeah, like singing like how that had I can't remember it's from like all the great singers were from like the 80s. We are the world only with me. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we are the memes.
And you have like people who
we are the internet. And we give you mindless entertainment on your computer at work. How about you? I like that idea. Thank you.
And the keyboard cat died, so you shouldn't, you let him rest in peace,
But he is running for president. I saw the signs.
He's got my vote.
All right.
So, Candidate Supreme.
Yes, sir. You standing up with the microphone.
Yes, hi. If we came up with an image rather than a slogan in the past few minutes, how do we give that to you?
I guess you would hashtag it million memes.
Million memes.
Million memes. Hashtag MILLIONMEMES.
Well, on this little drive here, I have the image. Can I share it?
I would. That would be a wonderful thing, young man.
Okay,
Wonderful thing. Any more shills in the audience? We need more
here we go.
shills. Thank you.
I feel like it would go a lot better if you could get the ridiculously photogenic guy to be your spokesman.
Ah, very good, very good. Okay, well, we'll have our people contact his people. Yes, sir. You there.
Bootman.
Yes, sir.
I defy you. You cannot exist. Memes are an idea. Memes are the people. You cannot wait. That's it. We must become the memes. We must take to the streets. Our boots will blot out the sun. We will drape ourselves in red velvet and we shall know our own meme-ish reality. And they can no longer deny us. They can no longer censor us so long as we are true to our inane and meaningless purpose. But we must find meaning within ourselves, within our memes.
Sir, one does simply not become a meme.
But what have you done, Bootman? What are you but a meme? What are you when you take the boot off? Are you still a meme?
You got me there. All right, well, we're going to have a technical picture here that's going to be very awesome. I'm sure it's going to be incredible. What is somebody giving me bunny ears or something? What's going on here?
Spam bots are becoming more and more intelligent. And so we have these Turing tests that, let them, we can see they're becoming more and more intelligent. So I propose that their singularity is going to come this year, and we're going to have, self-aware spam bots. So I predict a Ugg Boots Viagra revolution of 2014.
Oh.
Yeah.
Viva la revolution.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Excuse me, my lawn. Get off my lawn, please. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
You damn kids, get off my lawn. Okay, hi, I'm Weena from the media show.
Weena?
Good to see you guys. You guys are, Yes Men are totally my hero. Vermin Supreme, it's nice to meet you.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
So my meat person here was at Tim Huang's great talk on bots earlier today. And Tim Huang was talking about how governments and advertisers and researchers have all been looking into ways to use bots to influence public opinion. And there's actually a lot of evidence that people will...
You know I prefer sock puppets.
This is private, and I'm not actually a sock puppet. I don't know what kind of biases you have, but I'm not actually a sock puppet. Okay,
My apologies,
I'm a little bit more complex than that, thank you. I was actually born here at Hope.
Didn't mean to apply anything.
So, anyway, let's not talk about me. This is not an ad hominem attack. So the bots, people will actually befriend bots online, and they can be used to make a whole conversation more happy or make a whole conversation more angry. And I'm wondering, have the Yes Men done any work to sort of start to think about how to use bots to influence public opinion? I await your response.
I don't know.
Same here.
Let's work on that. I think that'd be awfully fun. Yeah.
Very well.
Cool.
Bot battles. Public opinion bot battles 3000 coming soon.
I have a recommendation for the chief MC of the Million Meme March. I think that Rick Astley would make a fantastic addition.
He would indeed. He would indeed.
He did the Macy's parade thing a while ago, so he's still alive, apparently.
How?
Despite having done enough coke to kill several horses.
How would we trick people into seeing him?
Well, all right, so those are some amazing ideas. I promise if you come to the Yes Lab in September, there will not be a Soviet forcing you to have ideas if you're not ready. Although, well, yeah. Okay, we might have a Soviet forcing you to have ideas, but
Maybe a smaller one.
it will be a smaller group, so it will be less mortifying to be forced to have an idea in front of everybody. And there will also be no fisting. So,
Fist fights, maybe.
well, okay, there will be fisting then. Fine, that's fine. Yay! All right. Yeah, it's a democracy. Yeah. Consensus.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so with Mike's help back there also, if there are any questions about any of whatever this is, and about anything so far, about Vermin, about Mike, about the Yes Lab that we're doing, about what we do, how we do it, how this happens, what's going on the screen right now, and off, please feel free to ask. And there's more videos to show you as answers if we don't have the answers. Communion, I think, is the answer to the first question. Yeah.
I'm not used to this world. Your ways are strange to me.
I'll ask another question if I may.
Oh, yeah.
As me this time, not as my puppet. So I know you, at least one of you, is affiliated with academia somehow, and I'm sort of wondering how you sort of balance out your life as an activist with your life as an academic, and how you keep people from firing you when you do these incredible things.
I will not answer that question because it doesn't apply to me at all. Thank you.
But you're not a doctor of something? Anyway, Mike and Andy, if you want to go ahead and answer.
I can answer that question. I think that the answer is that you don't keep people from firing you. They do occasionally, but they haven't lately fired Andy, and they haven't fired me ever, because they also sort of like what we do. They're in a kind of tough situation because they want some amount of attention and prestige, and in some circles there is attention and prestige involved with what we do. Also, to our credit, or I shouldn't say to our credit, it's to our discredit, we've never actually been arrested for doing the types of things that we do. We've never been charged. We have been sued once, but everybody gets sued. I mean, come on. That's nothing to be afraid of or to think is means that you're doing anything illegal. It doesn't. It just means you're being sued. So I think that, overall, it's, they don't have any reason to fire us. So, I mean, we'd have good grounds to fight it. Although if you don't show up to work, then they have a very good excuse to fire you. So I recommend that if you are an academic and you're doing things like that, then just, show up to work, teach your classes, and then they probably won't fire you.
I mean, one of the things.
That's my theory.
One of the things I sort of wonder is a lot of us.
It doesn't mean that they've fired plenty of people in the past. They fired very well-known, fantastic activists in the, Frances Fox Piven is a good example. She was let go from Boston University in around 1980. There's a whole bunch of people who've been fired because of their politics, and so that's why there's the tenure system. Not that that always works.
Well, but then there's also many of the younger generation of us are having to be adjuncts, where we are much more unstable to begin with, and so that's a concern. I don't know if you guys want to address that. It feels like we're working on a slightly different terrain.
Well,
now.
okay. Let me put it this way then. I think that the risks of being fired are in some ways unknowns. You won't know if you're going to be fired by doing something until you do it. It's a total question mark, and you can't be manage your behavior if you know what you're doing is right based on a climate of fear. It just won't work because you'll never know what that limit is, and you'll never know even who your allies are. And if you get fired, the worst thing that happens is that you lose your job, I think. And chances are that the attention that's generated by that will help you get another job. So that's my, unless you basically are like in a really, really, really tough situation personally, I would say that the risks of being fired are very slim compared to the risks of doing what you really need to say and do, exercising your freedom of speech.
That's rough in today's economy, but I'll go ahead and take that and get out of everybody else's way. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Hi, I wondered if you guys ever thought about using economic warfare to go along with media attacks against some of these companies. There's a guy named Max Kaiser who has a website called Karma Bank, and he lists certain companies, for example, Coca-Cola, that are very susceptible to, say, a ban. I noticed you talked about the stock price of some of these companies and how they plummeted in the hours after your press release. If you work with hedge funds who, let's be honest, all they care about is making money, they don't care that you're a progressive group necessarily, they could work with you to really drive that stock price down. If you have a 2-hour movement down in a stock price and you have a bunch of hedge funds buying put options at the same time, it builds upon itself. And I just, you know.
I don't think that any amount of that sort of pressure can really make a difference. I think it could make a momentary difference on one company, but the actual problem is the system that allows companies to get away with murder literally and not you know, see their stock value go up as a result. Until we change that, well, one start would be to get money out of politics. You know, then we would have a lot less of that. And there are different ways to do that. You can get money out of politics, and that makes a real difference across the board, and then companies can't spend billions of dollars. For example, Shell just spent $4 billion lobbying and campaigning to be allowed to drill in the Arctic. You know, that's an example of money in politics. The Arctic is now melted enough that Shell can go drill for oil up there. Wrong response. And that's pretty offensive to a lot of people, including people in government, but because Shell could spend $4 billion on lobbying, they managed to get it approved by the Obama administration. When you can stop that sort of thing, then you can make a real difference. Bringing down one company like Coke, which I'm sure does terrible things, and you know, or any one of these banks that does terrible things, that's great, but one thing that does is send a message that it's just a few bad apples, whereas it's not. It's the entire system.
Yeah, no, that wasn't actually my point. My point was that, like, if you do that to one company, it sends the message potentially to the other companies, and not all companies are susceptible to what I'm talking about. Some, like you said, it's not going to make a difference,
been
but
done.
there potentially are some companies that are more susceptible.
That's something you can test. Like, there have been boycotts that have really hurt certain companies. Has it actually stopped other companies from doing terrible things? No. So it's, you know, to really change things, we have to have systemic legislative changes, like either a constitutional amendment to stop corporate personhoods, to say that corporations don't have the rights of people, which that's a tall order, or even something like an FCC disclaimer on the front of political ads, just like you have, you know, disclaimers on medical ads for pharmaceuticals that say the side effects. Why not have a FCC requirement that if you put on an ad for a campaign or whatever, you have to disclose exactly who's paying for it and who's behind who's paying for it, and, you know, have real clarity about what you're seeing. Right now we don't have that, and that would be really just a palliative measure. It wouldn't fix it, but it would be something. So there are these things that would systematically improve the situation. I think going after individual companies and trying to send them a message is like, you know, it's a bit Christian. It's about like thinking their better sides will win out and the other companies will, you know, do the right thing because they see they're in trouble or whatever. It's not, you can't rely on their conscience or even their fear.
I just feel like it's like fighting fire with fire, but thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Hi, I have a question for Vermin. Vermin, are you there? Hey, hey, are you running for president?
Yes.
Awesome.
I am a friendly fascist, a
Can we
tyrant
see
that
a
you
video?
can trust.
Could we perhaps see
And
a
you
video
should.
from, a debate?
Let me
Presidential
run
debate? Like right
your
now?
life. I have debated several candidates this election season, yes.
How about the Democratic debate?
Well, I was involved in the lesser-known candidate debate back in December 19th, 2011. And yes, I won.
Let us see.
Thank you. I've also debated Jimmy McMillan, another fine meme who I believe I might be tapping for my VP meme candidate. And I have, of course, also debated Aleister Crowley's representative on Earth earlier in the year, back in October. And I think I won that one too. Thank you. Does that answer my question?
Is there a video? Is there a video?
There are videos of all those debates, yes.
Could we see it?
If you just Google it up. I
Right
suggest
now.
I would suggest you type in my name with the name of any other presidential candidate in the past 15 years, and you'll have some fun. Oh, wait.
Oh, Jesus, that's a giant vermin supreme. Help us!
Fight back. We can no longer be a nation indentured. Our very salivation is at stake. Together, we must brace ourselves. As we cross over to the bridge work, into the 23rd century, let us bite the bullet and together make America a sea of shining smiles from sea to shiny sea. Now, friends, some people will tell you that this mandatory toothbrushing law is about the secret dental police kicking down your door at 3 a.m. to make sure you've brushed. Friends, it is not. Some will mention the dental re-education centers or the preventative dental maintenance detention facilities. It's about none of these things. It's not about the government-issued toothpaste containing an addictive yet harmless substance. No, friends, it is not even about DNA gene splicing to create a race of winged monkeys to act as tooth fairies. Friends, what this mandatory toothbrushing law is really about is strong teeth for a strong America. My name is Vermin Supreme. I am a friendly fascist. I am a tyrant that you should trust, and you should let me run your life, because I do know what is best for you. Yes, I am a politician. I will promise you anything your little electorate heart desires, because you are my constituents. You are the informed voting public, and because I have no intention of keeping any promise that I make. Vote early, vote often. Remember, a vote for Vermin Supreme is a vote completely thrown away. I would like to take this moment to acknowledge my mother, who is in the audience here today. Please stand up, Mother. Please stand up. If you can stand up, please stand up. She's going to try and stand up so you can acknowledge. Thank you. That occurred in real life. Thank you. And at the end of it, I did, in fact, glitter bomb. I turned Randall Terry gay. That's what happened.
Hi, another question?
Yes.
It is amazing to me that you, Andy, can appear before a group, inflate a giant dong, and not provoke any kind of a response. Do you have any thoughts about the, I don't know, psychological dynamics of those groups and what's going on in their heads?
Well, yeah. Is Mike there? Maybe Mike can answer that one.
And Mike, go Bisons. I don't know if you can hear that.
Well, I'll start. He'll finish. Yeah, it's not that unusual if you think about it. They're there to see somebody from the World Trade Organization speak, and the program says that's who they're seeing, and they just accept whatever the person is saying.
But I mean, you're doing something that's calculated to be as absurd as you can imagine.
Yeah.
And they're not reacting.
Right. Well, they should react. I mean, they should think this is really offensive and this is wrong. And a couple of the people in the audience actually did come up afterwards and said, that was really weird. And one woman was actually offended because it implied that only men could be factory owners. That wasn't exactly the message we were aiming for, but that is also, yeah, that was offensive. But no, I think it's like, the problem isn't that people just watch it and believe it's the WTO. That seems normal, that, we know how to suspend our disbelief, and if it says it's something, then we just go through and believe it. But yeah, that nobody would object to that. Part of that might be that the people in the audience, they're in that world where the WTO is very important, and they don't have anything to gain by opposing it or by shouting something in the middle of a conference and stopping things or animating those brain cells that might be critical of it. So the real message of that for us, of showing that, is not those people are stupid, because they're not. They have PhDs and they're quite smart, the people in the audience. The real message is we can't trust other people to make sure that things aren't going haywire, and that it's only people, it's only democracy that can watch out. You know, you can't like trust that corporations are going to do the right thing, even with pressure. They need a lot of pressure, and it's actually, you know, you can't trust that politicians are going to do the right thing either, just because you elect them and they seem okay when you elect them. Which is the story of this, incidentally. This, speaking of the Yes Lab, I have a bunch of these newspapers here, and we're asking for a small donation that will support the Yes Lab. But we published these in part with the help of Scott and Liz over there. A week after the victory.
From Evil Twin booking.
A week after the election victory, this newspaper came out. The media reported 1.2 million copies, thanks to Scott. It was actually 80,000 copies in New York City. Thanks, Scott. That was actually very important. 80,000 copies in New York City of this fake New York Times that announced that the Iraq War was over. You know, we were building a sane economy by establishing a maximum wage law for CEOs, et cetera, all kinds of great news. And the whole message of it was that these things only happened because people took to the streets and kept up the pressure that they had used to get Obama elected. All the energy behind the election was actually sustained, and this man they had elected had to do the right thing afterwards. It was a fictitious 6 months in the future view that, of course, hasn't quite come true yet.
We seem to have lost Mike.
Oh.
We're connected, but he's not there.
Mike, where are you, Mike? Can you hear us? Is there anybody else named Mike here? Anybody?
Let's try.
Free ponies for all Americans.
Anyways, next.
Hi there. I can't help but notice that you
Please
guys
leave a
seem...
message.
Sorry. I can't help but notice that you guys seem extremely legit, and I was wondering if you could go into some of the techniques that you've employed in seeming that way.
Yeah, well, I don't know that we seem legit, but we have evolved some techniques. The main thing we do to seem legit is act like we are on paper. We use press releases, basically. And we do have a few other secrets of like how to appear at conferences and how to get in, and you know, basic social engineering that I think many of the people here could figure out a lot better ways to do it than we have. But what we have learned, we've posted online at yeslab.org/cookbook. It's not linked anywhere, so if you want to see it, you have to remember that whole URL, yeslab.org/cookbook. But the main technique that we use is the press release, and also a couple of times the video news release, where you just produce news. You write the news, or you make a video of the news that you'd like to see. And you work backwards from there. Okay, what do I actually have to do to make an interesting news article? That's basically the secret of what we do.
Very good, thank you.
Thanks.
I'm back. My question, it's a little bit foreign for me to, you know, to be a fake character or something like that, so I don't completely understand that concept. But my question would be actually a political one. A lot of activism in the West is actually very reformist. It's very, you know, there are the bad capitalists and the good capitalists, and if you criticize the bad capitalists, they become good capitalists. But isn't all capitalism bullshit and bad, and shouldn't we kind of like be a little bit more hard on and not that reformist, and change a little bit here and change a little bit there, and it will be better? You know?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I love what Frances Fox Piven says about that. She's, if you've ever read her, she's an incredibly powerful writer. A book called Poor People's Movements, for example. She talks about riots and how you actually have to take to the streets sometimes, and you know, when like in the 30s, all the popular pressure that basically forced Roosevelt to pass the New Deal goes into a lot of detail of that. But I asked her a similar question, like, what do we do now? Everything seems completely messed up, and do we need revolution or what? I mean, and she said, well, there are a lot of ways that things can get better, and there are a lot of reforms that can happen, but you actually need revolutionary action to get those reforms. So, we can't necessarily just tear down the system and start again. That might not even be desirable because who knows what happens. But you do need to actually take action that's pretty revolutionary to get
Gotta hit 'em high, gotta hit 'em low. Go team.
Yeah, basically.
I accept that as a statement, although I not completely believe it. Yes. Okay. Just in case anyone wants to commit a felony, I have the official immigration stamp of Soviet Unterzegersdorf. If you bring me your passport, I'll stamp it. It's really a felony, and it's the cheapest you get today.
Thank you. Wonderful. One more question. I'm afraid, right?
Okay.
We have time for one more. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, if you wanted to get a Million Meme March down in Charlotte, I think that someone who could help you get with the logistics of turning out people like that. Improv Everywhere is this group here in New York City, organizes pantless subway rides, has dozens of topless men go into Abercrombie and Fitch to buy a shirt. They announce things on their site, and they turn out flash mobs of up to hundreds of people to pull off stunts like that. And I think it would be great if you marshaled their creativity and manpower with your social conscience and put your heads together and came up with something great.
Thank you, citizen. Finally, a good suggestion.
All right. So thanks again. And again, if you're around in the fall, please consider joining the Yes Lab and working on some of these projects yourselves. They're fun. They take a lot of work, but they're fun. I can guarantee that. And visit the yeslab.org if you want to see more of the stuff that we've done in the last year. And if you want to support it a little bit, buy one of these newspapers. Thanks. And I guess we'll be sitting somewhere outside there.
And if you want to raise hell in the streets, come on down to Tampa and Charlotte. Special thanks to Evil Twin Booking. If you want us at your place, call them. Thank you. My name's Vermin Supreme.
To quickly add to that, on Twitter, Million Memes, and it's millionmemesmarch.wordpress.com, I think.
Wait, where's the flashes?
Okay. We actually have one quick special thing. If I could get the if I could get the laptop audio up. One more huge round of applause for the Yes Men. Wasn't that a great presentation? Is it up? Oh, okay, cool. Caught off guard. That was actually not it, and I lost it. Oh, shoot. Did you want to just introduce the video real quick? Yeah, sorry, I lost the slide. Okay. Yep, yeah, just go for it.
Hi, I'm Giraffa. This is Tim Pool.
Whoa! Hold on! Hi, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce a few indie journalists from the internet also. They are going to talk about their experiences in NATO involving the police repression of indie journalists there. And I'd like to introduce to you Giraffa and Tim Pool. Thank you.
Hello. So we're going to play a quick video for you here that was reported by Channel 5. Tim and I were with a group of people that were covering the NATO protest. We were with a group of journalists and doing information facilitation with telecomics, and we had our house raided, and then were stopped by 12 marked and unmarked DHS, CPD cars, and a bunch of stuff. And we're going to be giving a talk at 1900 hours in Felsenstein room, if I'm saying that correctly. So I want to take this opportunity to play the video.
Thanks to a new breed of journalists covering what's going on in the streets.
Some of whom we have learned are being targeted by police are some of these journalists. Here with exclusive details in our ear to the underground is NBC5's Lisa Parker. Lisa?
Thanks, Stefan. All night last night, we heard from dozens of protesters and independent journalists about raids and traffic stops taking place across the city.
Yeah, I know.
Now, that kind of allegation is hard for us to confirm unless or until we see the kind of video that came into us from around 2 this morning.
We're being raided right now. For those that are watching, we are being raided by the CPD as we speak.
What is this for, officers? What is this for?
I'm unbuckling my
We're going to lock it.
We're just pulled over, stopped, license. They didn't give us an explanation to why they're stopping us. You're watching us live right now. 12 cars.
So now inside that car, 3 of the live streamers we've been interviewing and introducing you to all week this week. Just a few minutes after he says the handcuffs were removed by police, independent journalist and Chicagoan Tim Pool called us.
Hey Lisa, we just got a crazy situation. We're heading back to the house. The person we were staying at was acting real weird. We told them we were heading back to the house to get our stuff now. And as soon as we did that, cars pulled out of nowhere behind us. They unmarked Crown Victoria, gray, cut us off, and we were surrounded by 12 cars and then a bunch of unmarked, like Infinity and other cars, like just a swarm of police in an area where there are no cars. And we were cuffed, interrogated, credit card numbers were taken down, passport numbers. They banged our hard drives against the ground. This is crazy. Can't stream it all. We got the stream up because we saw the car come around as soon as it cut it off.
So now Poole says the detention lasted about 10 minutes total, and that police said the reason for the stop was that their car matched the description of a car authorities are now looking for. He described the whole thing as pretty freaky, but said police did act reasonably. We contacted CPD about this incident, but we've not yet heard back. Daniela, Stefan, back to you.
All right, Lisa Parker, thank you for that.
I certainly did not say the police acted reasonably. It was outrageous, but at 7 in Felsenstein, we're going to be talking about our experiences that whole day with our apartment being raided, as we were told, from being pulled over. They had their guns drawn on us as journalists covering this protest event. So come down for a discussion, 7 p.m., and hear the whole story, and I would appreciate you all coming.
All right, thank you very much again. Lightning talks are happening in just about 1 minute. The 2 o'clock talk that's happening in Nut will be starting about 5 minutes after this, so if you want to go see that. Otherwise, please stick around for lightning talks, and all of my lightning talk presenters, if you could come up to the front of the stage, I'd appreciate it. Greg, did I miss any other announcements, or is that it? That's it? Okay, great. Thank you guys again. And stay tuned for lightning talks.
Yeah, right.
Mitch, are you here?